Today is another episode of Bonafide Her Podcast featuring the one and only Mark, Keezie, Cold, Collins.
Doing
How you doing today, sir?
great, doing great. How about you?
We blessed to be alive. I had your son here earlier, and then I had to make sure to get you on here early. On here because, hey, when you get a lot of basketball knowledge and you want to listen to the minds. Yep. So
Yep,
had to get a legend here too.
sure.
So let's get started. So Coach Collins, can you let us know how you got to where you are in your sports story?
Well, when it comes to sports, my journey started in Buffalo, New York. That's where I'm from. It started with basketball. We don't have a lot of sports as far as teams here and there. We don't have a lot of fields, but we definitely didn't have it when I was little. But we didn't have a lot of opportunity on the football field. We had a few basketball opportunities, but not as many as the South. So, maybe your park teams here and there. You got Gushmackers, you got small teams that people put together, but nothing like it is down south. But I was always one of the better kids in my neighborhood. One of the kids that the coaches always picked up and paid for to come play and stuff like that. And then I ended up moving down here to North Carolina, eighth grade, right before ninth grade. And not with any training or anything like that, just off of just natural ability. Was able to play football, basketball, whatever I pretty much set my mind to. Ran track, did hurdles, stuff like that, just off of just natural ability and just wanting to be active and, not have anything else to do, honestly. So that's where it started for me here. You know what I mean? I played at Parkland High School. Uh, you know, when I moved here, that was the year that Parkland High School won a ring in football and basketball. So I just happened to walk into a school that was already bringing in the best kids from the area, so on and so forth. So I had to just kind of get it out the mud, not being known at all. So they don't know what you can do. You just got to go out there and do it and showcase it and over again and make believers out of everybody. So that's kind of how it went for me. And from there, I went from Parkland to doing pretty good. Parkland just played Carver last night. My godson just did pretty good out there. But when I played Parkland and Carver, you couldn't even have it at our home stadium. It was too big. So we had to have that game at Bowman Gray, which is Wisconsin State Stadium. And that's pretty much where I got my opportunity to showcase myself. Did pretty good in the biggest game, in front of the coaches that needed to see me. Got me Wisconsin State. And I went there for a while. Played football in Wisconsin State. Due to my grades, I wasn't eligible to play, so I had to redshirt. So I just went through the grind, 5 a.m.s, running, 2 days, 3 days workouts, still having to go to class and also being a student athlete, but not being able to get on the field on Saturdays. It teaches you a lot, about the process and if you really love something, what you're going to willing to do for it. So, that's kind of my spiel with sports, Yeah.
Let me find out you were part of a Ramley family.
Oh,
Come
yeah.
on with.
It runs deep, So, yeah, love for sure.
And this is and that leads to my question because I think a lot of people like to overlook HBCU's competition, and I think you have some of the most competitive people coming out of HBCU, especially say basketball and football. But from your experience, what would you say is the misconceptions of the CIAA competition during your time?
And at the end of the day, football is football. Of course, you understand there's levels to everything. So I wouldn't dare come on here and compare it to like the SEC or something to that effect. But depending on where you are in life, a situation like a HBCU can be a great opportunity for you to be able to showcase yourself as well as follow your studies and still go to school and be a student, but also be able to enjoy being a student. If it's, a situation where whatever happened to you before you got there, if you were sent there for a reason, whether you were a higher caliber athlete and couldn't do it based on grades or whatever it may be, or if you were a caliber athlete like I was that got a late shot that had to come on and walk on and earn a partial scholarship. So it just depends on what works for you. But at the end of the day, it's just competition. So you can come out of it being a better person and player, and you can put yourself in a position to these days better yourself and move up and transfer out And back when I played, it was just an opportunity for you to showcase yourself and show that you still got it and you willing to play at a higher level or the highest level you can get your hands on and produce and go hard and give the coaches something to look at and make sure they look at you after practice and say, hey, it's we got to put you somewhere on this field because you got to get on this field. And that's kind of what my journey was. It's like, all right, we know you're a red shirt, but we got to get you on this field. So that's kind of how that went for me.
For sure. And, recently, like last season for Winston-Salem State, they had the women's basketball team win the whole CIAA tournament. And that was really big, especially for the whole city of Winston. What was that like to see, say, your alma mater win the CIAA, especially for women's basketball, and be able to go far in the Division II tournament?
For me, it's basketball. So just watching the women's game grow over the last few years, it's just been a delight to see. I enjoy the game of basketball. I enjoy sports in general, but basketball in particular is just one of my loves. I've always loved it. I always probably will. But watching the women's game grow the way it's growing, and then to see that translate to right here in our backyard with the HBCU, and then I'm a little bit closer to the situation. Coach T's husband is one of my good friends, so throughout the process, I was able to talk to him throughout it, and just ask questions and just pick his brain about just what the energy is like and what he's seeing about it. So I was kind of close attached to it, but not as much. You know what I mean? So, but at the end of the day, it was just good to see it. It's right here. The energy's here. Those women they're balling. They're going hard. And like I said, shout out to Coach T. She's doing a great job over there. And we see what's going on. So she's inspiring a lot of young girls to continue on what they're doing because before now you may or may not have seen it, but if you're right here in the city, you can't miss it. So, and we have some talented young girls coming up as well too. So yeah, I like it. I like it a lot.
I just know one of my former players transferred to Winston-Salem State from Western Carolina. So, like, and she used to play at JCSU. So I was like, ooh, this is interesting. So I was like, I'm here for it. So,
Ain't come for nothing.
but hey, like I think it's like, to me, it's so amazing to see. Like I said, I think it was so amazing to see Winston-Salem State actually win it, because like there was this whole, like, say, drought, like, oh, when are they gonna win this? And everybody has, like, say, some coaches have a specific timeline of how long they gonna be in the job until, like, say, they get moved on and stuff. And I think there's such a double standard when it comes to certain coaches that are coaching at a program versus certain coaches at a program, and they have, like, you have this amount of years till say we move on from you. So
So you gotta go. That's just business at this point. Especially in this world we're in right now, 2026, everything is microwave. So, you know, it's easy to have ADHD.
and this leads to my question, with basketball, you are a father, you got kids that are in sports, like just participating in, you are the black version of Jerry Krause, the GM. So, and you get compared to, say, like the King Richard Williams, like, the father of, like. So my question for you is, what's it like to see, say, your sons, play their sport respectively, and also just what do you hope to see their legacy, continue with their sport?
Well, my boys, it's because we are aware of the landscape. I'm not 6'9", you know what I mean? So my kids won't be 6'7", 6'6", 6'5". So we have a different type of situation that we're living in. With me and with us, it's about the process. It's about the grind. It's about loving to get up every day and attack a goal and then go to bed knowing like, okay, we got to it today, or I can sit and look across the car at my son and say, how you feel today? Did you get better? And he can tell me yes with a straight face and really feel that about himself. So I have three boys. I have 15, I have 10, I have 5. I have Ace, Bean, and Donnie. So I'm in it, and I'm not going anywhere no time soon. You know what I mean? So I've been in it since Ace has been. He started playing when he was 3. We lied and said he was 4. So he's been playing since he was 3 years old, and I came off of playing, and I tore my knee up. So I was playing semi pro, getting ready to get back into school, and tore up my knee, ACL, MCL, and meniscus around the same time as my son being born. So, my process of getting back was pretty much online with his process of growing up and 2 or 3 years old. He wanted to get active. We got active. We've been active ever since. So that's what got me into coaching. But to watch their process, it's just that. It's the process. Game days are game days. It's my job to get you hyped, make sure you fed, make sure you're ready to play, make sure you have the things you need to go out there and succeed. But my enjoyment and my love is the day to day. I enjoy the fact that I know that we're gonna get in the gym 2 hours a day, hour and a half a day, sometimes 3 hours a day, twice a day. We're gonna get in the gym and we're gonna get something done. We're gonna work on whatever we saw you do the other day that wasn't as good as you want it to be. We're gonna work on what the things that we know you got to work on as far as your process, as far as you're getting your 10,000 hours in, a certain amount of shots, certain amount of layups, certain amount of time on ball handling, things of that nature. And then now that Ace is a little older, he's in high school now. He's going to high school now. I've jumped out of the driver's seat and I've jumped in the passenger seat, literally and figuratively. He's driving now as well. But so now I let him make a lot of the decisions, and I just sit back and see the decisions he make, and I just try to keep him in line. Like, okay, you think that might, is that a good one? Let's think about it. And I give him the things that I see, and then he's my son, so he's been trained and he's ready to go. So he's understanding to be able to see certain things and make decisions based off of what he sees. So, I just love the process with it. As far as like you said, the Jerry Krause, that's something that it's a joke. It just gives off the impression, or it gives off the understanding that this is what I'm the guy that tries to build. You know what I mean? So I know a lot of kids, and I understand a lot of kids' game. I'm a pretty good evaluator, so I'm pretty good at understanding how puzzle fits together. And from 5 years old to 18, I probably know him, or I can get in touch with him, and I've probably seen him play or seen him work out or something, so I can be able to see and okay, this kid can do this, can do that. He may be better served to be here or there, and from that, a lot of times I get the phone calls, and when people want to know where to train or where to work out or who to work out for, what team to go to, or what fall league to be in, or who to talk. It's just those type of things lead me and lead people to talk like that as far as the whole GM thing. And that's just what it is. I enjoy it. I enjoy having access to all of these kids and being part of the processes. Like I said, for me, day to day. So I'm on the phone all the time, all day long about whatever, from football to basketball to baseball, from kids here, Charlotte, Raleigh, Durham, High Point, Greensboro area. It doesn't really matter. So I just love the process, and me having my boys in the process just makes it even more fun because I'm invested in seeing not just them do well, but their teammates do well. I like to win. You know what I mean? So if I can help a team win by telling a player about a good coach, or telling the player about a decent trainer, or giving a parent a tip, and then they say, well, will you don't do this, and then I can time it with this situation. It just makes sense to where it's like, they're gonna win. Whether they win physically in that game or they win overall by the process and the experience, they're gonna win. So that's where that comes from. You know what I mean? And the King Richard thing, that's my man Bates. Bates, hey, great shot. That's my guy, man. But that's where that came from. That's where that came from. But he just sees me all the time. Like I met him in the gym. He come in the gym. He's working out. I'm in the gym, or I'm leaving the gym, or we come in together, and it's, what I mean. So that's where that comes from. It's just like it's not a lot of dads that would do the every step I take. I understand that every parent helps in their own way. My way is extremely hands on, and I'm on to the process of 10,000 hours. This is the foundation of this. We're gonna do this every day until we get this to where it's easy and where it's not even worth thinking about, and move on to something else. Like, and then with that, I'm in the gym with guys like a Bates, and with guys like Drew Cone and guys like that, to where we just information and knowledge back and forth. It's a great circle of people. It really, really is, honestly. But yeah, that's what I would say as far as the process is concerned. I'm here for that. I'm here for the process. I'm here for the conversations. I'm here to learn something every day. I'm a sponge, so like I'm here to learn. I'm here to learn. Honestly, still.
For sure. Shout out to Coach Bates. Shout out to
God,
Coach.
sir.
Man, I go, man, I'm gonna tell you this. Your son really like. that whole shootout between Ace and I was like, man, because like it really like because I was like I say like I was really trying to work on like practicing for a 3 point competition at the time, but I'm
Right.
like I didn't know like and I'm thinking to myself like oh this is I was like I was like I've never heard of this person like I'm always tunnel vision like who like
Yeah.
who's who, but I was like oh it's like, oh, okay. I was like, my thing, but what it was too, like what the shootout between Ace and I taught me was like you have to run your own race. Like you have to worry about your shooting. Like, yeah, he's like great, but you gotta worry about like, you gotta mentally prepare, like do not psych yourself out. Hey, if somebody's ahead of you, hey, just keep up, but still like don't get like say bogged down and stuff. But I will say he helped me with it. But I was like, I'll take the best 3 out of 5 win. So I was
Iron,
like,
iron sharpening. That's all.
exact, exactly. And I was like, and it was so interesting because I was like, oh, I didn't know Ace was like that. After I saw like he got viral on the Cuz Green video, I was like, what? Let me. I was like, oh, so I was like, I was competing with like the top shooter in North Carolina. Didn't know that. I was like, you know what?
He's
Learn
been
something new.
active. He's been active for sure. He's been active.
For sure. And this is my question for you, especially like with Ace, with he going to high school and in the era of NIL, like a lot of NILs are gonna be coming to like say high schools now. It's gonna be expanding to high schools. So for you, how do you prepare for like say with Ace, with his name, image, and likeness all over, like on social media, being viral. How will you and like say Ace be able to like say have like say that boundary where say some companies, if they do contact you, they don't try to like say steal his name, image, and likeness and try to own it.
Well, it's start with education. So, like I said, I'm a sponge. We ask questions, we read books, we watch podcasts, and we stay on that path to where it's like, all right, once we learn one thing, let's what else is there? What other questions do we have answers to? So that's kind of where that starts with us because it's new to everybody, especially to someone like me. This is my first son. This is my first rodeo. I got two more, but this is my first one, and this is a new way of doing business. So yeah, I think it just starts with education. So we have meetings with people that are in that world already, and they already have clients, or they have already experienced it, and they have a little bit of game to give based on their experiences. And then we have, of course, you get calls and you get, conversations with people that are already in that are looking to eventually put my son and other kids in that 2030 class, put them into that pot. So just understanding what it is that is necessary and what's being looked for, and just and then watching the guys in front of my boy and other boys and other guys just to see how they're handling and how they're moving with it, what companies they're choosing not to deal with, how they're moving with it. So it's a brand new thing. So we're really just kind of just seeing it, watching it. That's what I do best. I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna see what's going on with the guys in front of us and see, like you said, it's a race. We're in our own race, but it's a race and there's somebody in front. So we're looking to see what's going on. You know what I mean? So at that point, it's just, you run your own race and you prepare yourself every day. And when those calls come, then you take them and you go whatever path that comes to make sense. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to something like that, it's new, but it's something that we are aware of, especially with the work he's putting in, the opportunities that's possibly coming down the pike to be able to showcase himself. So it's, even if it doesn't come at a high level, or it does come at a high level, or whatever level it comes at, we'll understand it when it comes. We'll do our best to understand.
For sure. Hey, if you need any tips or advice about NIL, like content wise, or help need like advice, I got you. I've dealt with
That's the
like
network.
because I will say like and I noticed so I used to I went to this thing like a couple of years ago, and at the time they were for college athletes, but now they had 3.0 in Vegas, and I noticed a couple of high schoolers coming in, which they're allowing high schoolers now to learn how you can say monetize your name, image, and likeness, or also monetize your content, because in this age right now, like if you're looking to build brands, like they're going to look at your content, and also you're going to have to find your niche. But you can, you know, in this age, you may have one niche, but you can still have many more niches. If you say like, if Ace is passionate about something outside of basketball, and he could be able to build content with it and with basketball, like, he loves basketball, but he has other passions, he could be able to incorporate it and stuff. So, like,
That's
you,
some of the combos that we have as well. Like you said, outside of basketball, everybody, I don't want to say everybody, but a lot of the kids have the same types of interests because they're all kind of all doing around the same type of stuff. So content creation is something that is on the forefront of all of their minds because they all have their phone in their hand. So, and they see content constantly. So, and them just being, young, smart, their brains are working, they starting to see like it's money behind it. I can be a content creator. You know what I mean? But like I tell my son, because he's involved in other things outside of basketball, it's like, I ask him and I make sure he understands, what's the main thing. And if that's your main thing, if that's your main thing, I ask him, not telling him, I'm asking him. If that's your main thing, keep that as your main thing. And you're gonna have to make time for the other things that you want to do. So he's picking up the camera now. He's into his photography bag right now and wanting to do the videos and stuff like that and just be behind the camera and do the production and the editing and the stuff of that nature. So like I'm telling him, it's gonna take time to learn and do it and get good at it. But I love the fact that you're just not settling on like I'm just gonna shoot a basketball. Like your mind is always on to what else can I do? You know what I mean? To learn something or what else am I interested in? And I ask him those questions as well. So that's important. It just can't be all about this basketball. On top of that, then keep the main thing the main thing. So it's a very delicate balance you gotta have, but you have to have a balance for sure.
and speaking of which, so, you lived in Winston so long, North Carolina is the hoop state. We just gotta know this.
Yeah,
But who would you say is in, say, your North Carolina Mount Rushmore of hoopers?
I know.
North Carolina Mount Rushmore hoopers, like they were born and raised in North Carolina. Like,
Feel me when if I miss somebody's name. So I'll do this because I moved to Winston Salem pretty much 2000, 2001. So in the last 25 years that I've heard of, because I wasn't everywhere, and I played football most of the time. So this basketball world is one that a lot of the historians get on me sometime when I don't mention somebody's name in conversations. But I went to Parkland High School. I graduated in 2005. I was in the gym when Chris Paul came and dropped 61. I was right there. So I saw that personally. Like, he was able to see a Hall of Famer in high school kill all my friends. That's pretty much what just happened. You know what I'm saying? So you got to say his name. Of course, I'm from the city, so I'm not from here, but I've been here a long time. So I would say you got to say Josh Howard. Those type of guys they're staples. They're the staples. My kids played at Reynolds Park, had some pretty big games, some good seasons there, and I coached there and coached a lot of kids there, and that's Josh Howard Court. You know what I'm saying? So you can't come through this city without going and being a part of that. That's a part, it's a rite of passage around here. So you got to say his name. Of course, you got the young boy, my young boy, my young dog, Harry. Harry's still doing it. He's still playing in China right now, still doing it, but he was the number one guy from freshman to senior year, and he was the only one around here that did that, that came out of here and was that. And he held it very, very well, did his thing, still doing his thing. And then he's in touch with the people. He's in touch with the community. Like, he's here, he's here when he's here. He's not, untouchable. You know what I mean? 6'11", walking in the gym, speaking to babies. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a different type of situation when you say these few names. Then you got guys like my man Childress. You got Brandon. That B Chill came through Wake Forest, did his thing. He's still playing right now as well overseas. So, those are just a few names that are close to me in my situation. Now, you got guys that I've heard plenty of stories about from other cities and other towns from around here. They just weren't attached to me. You know what I
right.
mean? Just the ones that are attached to me. Of course, there are others, but the names that people would know, that those are the no brainers right there. right away. It's like, if you know anything about this area, these are the guys that you want to, say that or at least be around or learn some game from, or talk to, or shake their hand or get a picture, or these are the guys. And then let me not forget my young boy. I can't do Davian like that. Davian did his thing too. I can't
Shout
leave
out to D Will. Shout out to D Will.
out, man. He showed my son a lot of love when he met him. Um, yeah, he's one of the guys around here as well. Went to Raleigh Middle School. My son went to Raleigh Middle School, and like the comparison was there because they hadn't been to the third round of the playoffs or whatever since Davian was there, and that's what Ace did. He was like sixth, seventh grade or something like that. So that's where that comparison came from. So that's my guy too. He always showed Ace love, and a lot of other kids as well. It's not just Ace. Like when you see these guys, these are guys you can go up to and just say, "What's up?" And they're gonna give you 5 minutes if you got something to talk about. You know what I mean? So just good guys, and they love their community, they love their city, and it's good for me to see that. Like I said, I wasn't born here, but I was raised here. So for me to see that, and my kids are born and raised here, those are
Mm-hmm.
guys that I would just always tip my hat to because they always just show love, and for their guys, for their city, they're gonna always do that. They always show love for sure.
And it's interesting because I want all five of them on my podcast to
I'm
speak, like to interview. I want all five of them, like
gonna
just
try to get a word, and I'm gonna just tell them to holler at you.
man. Cause first of all, shout out to D Will. That's probably my favorite player to come out of Winston. Like literally,
Killer.
like I will like if there's any Winston players come out, like my favorite player to watch and my favorite player who inspired me both on and off the court is definitely Davian for sure. Like and also to see Harry continue to do what he loves to do, like and killing it too. Like because as some people like say, oh, he's been through a lot. Like, hey,
Man,
this man is still killing it. Like imagine being the number one player throughout your 4 years, and not to mention nobody in North Carolina could ever say that. Nobody ever in other big cities could say they had the number one player in the country for all 4 years.
Trey.
Like,
Yeah.
and yeah, and of course, you say, Josh Howard. I hear people say Josh is like you talking about Winston, Winston. Josh is Winston, Winston. Like
Yes.
that's like and of course, you got the point guard too. Like point guard, like this man is going to be he's already a Hall of Famer as we speak. Because if he was already in the Hall of Fame with the Redeem team, and he was not to mention he was the first player, he was the first active player at the time to be in the Hall of Fame, and he was part of the Redeem team when they put him there. But now he's going to be a two-time Hall of Famer as we speak, as a player, like individually. So I mean, you can't get nothing. You can't go wrong with that. And then be chill, like shooting wise, man.
Savant.
Like
That's what he
for
do. That ball in the basket. That's what he do.
like it's just in. Let me get. I want to say this too because I know there's a lot of ACC people here. I just want to point this out. Josh Howard was the second player in ACC history to be unanimously selected as ACC Player of the Year. I just want to give that to y'all because, like, a lot of people didn't know this, but to be the second player ever in ACC basketball history to be unanimously selected and your name is attached, etched in the record books along with David Thompson, yeah.
Talk to him.
I'm just letting,
Do your
I'm
home.
just dropping.
Do your homework. Yeah.
I'm just I'm just letting folks know, like just dropping knowledge and stuff, because people forget. They want to forget all these greatness back in the day, and it's all the recency bias. But it's like if you actually watch hoops and see like how great they were, and then like how impactful. Because I think I will say this: my thing when it comes to players that I really say respect is how not only how great they are as skills in the on the court, how they are off the court. That's when you could tell like the leadership, how they communicate with the community. Like and they big in the community. Like they not just like say, you have some people like they act maybe bougie and like too good for them. But it's like if you have people that are like, I'm home,
Yeah.
like
Home.
we yeah.
These are my
So
people for sure.
So, but shout out to that. You got that Mount Rushmore. I won't argue with that. That
Oh,
was
yeah,
that. I will not argue with that Mount Rushmore. Like, nope. That that was. But I just know your son is going to be in that Mount Rushmore soon.
we working. We
So,
working.
but this leads to my question. You're a father and you're also a coach and a trainer. How do you balance fatherhood and basketball simultaneously?
It's been a I wouldn't say a challenge or a battle, but it's been something I had to be intentional about because you can be lost in the coaching part and 6 8 months go by and you ain't took your kid to get no food. You know what I'm saying? Just by yourself. You know what I mean? So it's definitely a balance you gotta have. I enjoy it. My kids respond well to they respond well to it. Everybody doesn't respond well to that. So for me and for mine, it's a little different, but it works out because I mean I'm able to be dad with them being coach without being a daddy ball coach, if that makes sense. Like I can do that without forgetting that I got to coach the rest of these kids and give them the same opportunities based on their experiences and based on their work, and not just me trying to make sure I get my son what he needs in that moment. So it's definitely a delicate balance, and I wouldn't recommend every dad to try to be a coach because if you're not built for it, man, it's gonna show. It's gonna show. It is going to show. But I enjoy it. I enjoy it. I am, like I said, I'm a process guy. Like I said, a part of my process was just practicing for a whole year and not even playing. So, and this is in football. You know what I mean? At the college level. So that's a little bit of a drip down to how I am with my children and my family. It's the same thing. We're gonna work. We're gonna work every day. It's a goal. We have individual goals. We got short term. We got long term. We got goals. It's a goal every day to hit. Did you hit it? Did you try to hit it? If you did, great. If you didn't, just try tomorrow. But we're gonna continuously do this every day, and I enjoy that. And it's nothing. It's not much of a difference for me when it comes to being a dad and a coach, because I'm not a overbearing coach or overbearing dad. So to me, it's just like you just make it make sense. Like it's my natural energy. It's my natural personality. It's my natural character to be able to see something and evaluate it, and sometimes without even people even asking me, I'm going to tell you what it is that I see. You know what I'm saying? But over the years, people have heard what I got to say, and they would have told me or somebody else a long time ago if I need to shut up. so
Ugh.
I, you know what I mean. So I've been told the opposite more times than not. So my approach on it is just that. Like I just happen to be a coach and a dad, and and when it comes to training, I take that word very very serious because I know trainers. I know real trainers that's been doing it for a very long time. They have training programs. They have benchmarks. They have things they want to see. I know trainers. I wouldn't necessarily call myself a trainer, but I rep. So I'll rep things that I've seen from other trainers or other coaches or workouts that I took my son to or workouts that I've been a part of as far as a group or a session or something to that effect. But when it comes to that, because I don't charge as well. So like trainer is a profession. You know what I mean? Like I know guys that are professional trainers, and even at the level of with little kids, like it's not their first group of little kids. They've had little kids for 10 years. So I take that word and these even coaching those certain words you got to say them with a grain of salt sometimes when you talk about certain people because just because you call yourself a trainer, I mean you're a trainer. So
Mm.
like I said, very, very good at seeing some things and let's tweak it and work on it and let's rep it. You know what I mean? But if I'm in the gym with my son and you walk in the gym and you hoop, come get some work. So, it's a little different with me with this. It's still just organic for me. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying it's not organic for trainers, but I'm not in it to be called or to be a trainer. I'm in it for the process. So today might be training, or I might be in the gym with my son and another trainer is in the gym. And I'm like, and he going with him. And I'm sitting over here watching and critiquing and so on and so forth. So, For me, mine is a little different. And then when it comes to my boys and training my boys, what makes me their trainer is I'm the person that understands their game more than anybody, and I take them to the specialists. So I know a shooting coach. I got a ball handling guy. I know a guy that's going to work on pull up off the dribble. I know a guy's going to work on over dribbling and taking on double teams. So when I'm watching you play, I know we got to go talk to this coach on Monday because you did this wrong. This coach on Tuesday, you did this wrong. And then we're going to take Wednesday and I'm going to rep an hour each of those things with you. And then we're going to go back to them on Wednesday and Thursday and so on and so forth. And that process and the way I do that is why a lot of people come to me and ask me questions about those type of things because I do that. Like that makes me my kid's trainer. I'm their head trainer, but I don't train them. I take them to the good trainers, if that makes sense.
Yes, sir, for sure. And this leads to this. My question is, I always say that athletes are humans first, and for you, as a black man, a coach, an athlete, and a father, how important is mental health to you?
Extremely. So outside of basketball and sports, that's what I do in the mornings when I wake up. I'm a peer support specialist. So I focus on mental health and sometimes, depending on the situation, alcoholism and drug use. So that's a part of my everyday, my basis. That's what I do every day. So you have to be aware of certain things when you deal with people and being able to pick up on certain energies or certain, facial expressions or certain ways people answer questions, or you can pick up on certain things, especially if you're looking for them. So for me, that's the my biggest way of being able to talk to younger kids, other people, is sports. It's like the easiest way to be able to relate something to you based on a sport or whatever you're into. So if you're into a sport, it's easy for me to be able to see what you got going on and see you're not moving the same or you're not reacting right like you usually would, or maybe you overly energetic today or a little bit more illustrated than usual, or you know what I mean, more animated. I can see that and pick up on it, and then we can sometimes after practice we can chop it up, or maybe I can coach you a different way to where I can help you get through it for this hour and a half. Maybe get you to laugh in between, something to that effect, to where it's like I'm aware that something is bothering you, but how I go about it may not be as direct as some other people based on the situation. And then you're dealing with kids. I'm dealing with children a lot of times, youth. So you got to be aware of that as well. Understanding is important. So my every conversation I have with this kid may not make sense to the convo I have with this kid based on just knowing where they come from and their understanding and just their environment and their upbringing and so on and so forth. So, but as far as just understanding mental health, when you in sports, you have to understand like this can make or break somebody's confidence, character, egos. It can do all of these things if you don't do it right, or if you don't have the pure intentions to do it the right way. So I just believe that sports helps more than most things when it comes to mental health, as far as especially in our community. We don't have a lot of resources and we have very little outlets. So this is one way for me to be able to touch and talk to kids that look and act and come from places I've been, and be able to see that and I know that kid. I don't know him, but I know him, and I already know what it is. So where I can let me buy him a Gatorade, let me buy him a burger, and you make sure he got a ride home. You got kids that I've had kids that I coached that will be starving, hungry, ain't ate all day. You hungry? No, I'm good. I've been with you for like 8 hours, dog. You ain't ate all day. You gotta want something. And it's a mental situation where it's like you don't even want to ask because you don't feel comfortable, or you don't want to give off that you need something, and you just you don't want to overstep, and you may feel comfortable but you don't want to overstep and ask the coach for too much. So so it's like it's a lot of mental battles these kids go through. And then you got social media, you got regular school stuff, then you add sports on top of that, then you got families, individual relationships with their friends and their peers. You know what I mean? So it's like you can literally be going through a myriad of things on Monday, and then something different on Tuesday, and then Wednesday you're fine, then Thursday you're fine, then Friday you're not, then Saturday on game day, you don't know how you feel. You know what I mean? So it's just like you got to be aware of it. And fortunately, the guys that I'm around, the adults that I'm around, the trainers and coaches I'm around, we all have a pretty good beat on that. We all have those discussions, and even when we talk and we meet and we discuss kids and evaluations, we understand that, and it's a part of it. And I think it's important. A lot of times, I wouldn't say a lot of times, but sometimes people make these type of evaluations and these judgments, and they don't understand the kid. They don't understand where the kid is from, the environment, the city, the neighborhood, the side of town. They don't even understand. They don't understand. So they can't even fathom what this kid had to go through to get to this game to showcase for you to evaluate. You know what I mean? So I think it's important, and I think that's a
Oh, oh, we're having technical difficulties. We have a technical difficulties. It was such a good conversation. Thank you guys for so far that's tuning in, y'all. Um, it was, if you go back, if you hear me, come back, go back out and come back in. If you hear me, it's just a blooper moment. Come back. So if you come back out, go back out, and then come back into the room. Like come out of the room and then come back in the room. Like technical. Like if okay, if you come back out, like go back out to the room, and then come back in, and then it should say technical difficulty. Like so, go back. So if you exit the room, exit, and then go in that link again and come back. So exit, like say exit the room here, and then come back out. Like come. Okay, you're great. Yay. Yes. Oh no, you were here. I saw you. You were here. Okay. Oh, all right, y'all. Okay. Yes. Yay.
there we go.
Yes. So,
And now I can't hear you.
oh, you can't hear me.
I can't hear you now. I see you
Okay.
talking, but I can't hear you.
Okay. Come back. Okay. Come back out. All right. Let me see. Come back out and go back in.
Let me see.
We having a typical. It's just a blooper, y'all. But thank you guys for tuning in right now. Okay. Can you hear me?
I got you.
Yes. This is we
What
have
happened?
blooper moment. I will tell you this. We have blooper moments. So this is a blooper. So
Okay,
I
cool.
I was like, we had a technical difficulty moment, but it's a blooper. But
We got it.
um, we got it good. Did somebody try to call you?
Yep, that was Bean.
Oh, so I will say sometimes when somebody calls you, the screen goes black. So it's like so.
Yep,
Shout out to Bean though. Shout out to Bean.
that's Bean. Yeah, shout out Bean.
So this leads to my question. When it comes to representation, especially both on and off the court, how important is representation?
Very, extremely important, especially the older you get in this game. You have to have somebody that knows what's going on to be able to help you navigate what's going on around you, especially if you're one of the guys that are at a level to where you're being pulled in every direction. You're getting calls from this and that team and this and that program and this and that coach. So it's good to have someone that you can run all that stuff through and ask a question like, "What you think about this? What you think about that?" Not saying listen to what they're saying and do it exactly, but you have that information to be able to use and choose from to make a better informed decision. So I think that's all up under one umbrella when it comes to representation. Having somebody you can come to and ask the questions about the landscape, and that can sometimes speak for you, or make a call for you, or call somebody and recommend that they talk to you. So yeah, I think it's extremely important, especially in a space like this where we're in the hoop state. It's a good basketball player with every mile you look is a good basketball player. You turn your shoulder, you got a good basketball player. You look up the street, it's a good basketball player. So it's more than just that. You have to be plugged in on different levels. You have to have a ear to the street. You have to have somebody that has an eye out for you and listening to what's going on. You have to have somebody that knows your game and knows what you were more suited for. You have to have someone that understands what, like, they've been there before you, so they understand who you're dealing with, what these people are, what they are capable of, what their resumes are, what their track record are. So I think it's extremely important, and I think that's the thing about the hoop state. You have a lot of guys that they can say that they know what's going on, and they may know, you know, 10, 20%, maybe 30, 40%. But you have to have multiple people that you can come to about certain things so you can have a better picture of what's happening. And I think that's what representation does for you. It lets you be able to let somebody else know what you're being told, what you're thinking, and they can spit it back out to you, and the way it makes sense, and then you can make a decision from there.
For sure. And this, you're part of the DWAC Elite camp and the DWAC Elite games. Can you let folks know how did that come about, the DWAC Elite?
I've been knowing D Watt since he first picked the camera up. He was my son was 11, I think. He was playing up like 15 or something like that at Rise, and he was just one of the guys. Of course, there's a few guys around with cameras, doing content and getting pictures and stuff like that for kids, but he was just one of the guys that was consistent, very consistent. He didn't mind talking. A lot of times the camera guys don't want to talk. They're maybe a little bit, I don't know if they're intimidated or what, but he was active. He's very, very active, cool kid. So he's just kind of been tapped in since then. And then social media keeps everybody in touch. So being able to see what's going on with him and him being able to see what's going on with us, we just stayed in touch. And then he started the DWAC Elite, I want to say a year or so ago or something like that. And even when he started it, we had a discussion about, hey, when it's time, we're gonna round them up. I got a few guys for you. And he was like, okay. So they went out. They've been killing. They won last year in the Phenom finale, and he put together some teams this year throughout the year. And when it was time for the finale again for this year, he reached out to Coach Pop and I, and Coach Pop is it's a very, very good resource for a lot of people. If you don't know, you need to find out. But we got on the phone, and he know I'm the guy to call the parents, and that's what I did, and put together a nice little roster, a nice roster. Honestly, of guys that we've been having our eyes on for a while. Just had to find the right situation to put them all together to showcase that they were good together, and we took the opportunity, and we ran with it, and we ended up winning 14s. Really good game. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, a lot of competition. It was a lot of energy in there, and there's a lot of guys that you're gonna see. Like those were the guys that you're gonna see. If you were in that building, you're gonna be around for the next 4 years or so. If you ain't already a senior or junior or something to that effect, but 20, 30, 29, 31, yeah, it was a good look. It's a very, very good look. But in specific, that DWAC team and that situation, we have a lot of other things coming down the pike. So it's turning into a program, honestly. A slight program to where it's something that it can be a very good vehicle and a resource for some players that may or may not be getting the type of love or publicity that they want. It's a good opportunity. So if you guys are looking and watching, you see it. you might want to tap in with them and figure out how you can get out there. So it's a lot more coming down that down that alley with D Walk Elite and stuff of that nature. But yeah, we're definitely working. We are working.
For sure. And I think too, like a lot of people don't understand how important and crucial networking is, especially when it comes to the basketball world. Because boy, oh boy, like you could know somebody and they could find a way to give you the resource and tips and everything.
Yep,
Man,
yep.
like it's crucial. And so my question for you is, if there was a word or phrase to describe your journey so far, what would it be?
Relentless. Yep, relentless. I would try to quote it from a dictionary, but right now at this moment I wouldn't do that. But look it up. Look it up. Relentless. That's what I would say. That's what I would say from moving here, not knowing anybody, navigating this city and this state, staying alive through all of it. And because we got people that are not here anymore, and staying vigilant, staying focused, keeping my boys active and focused through all of the challenges of life. I would have to say relentless.
That's real. That's for real because you know, and like you said, what caught my attention because you said like there's some people out here that not with us anymore because the craziness in the world, but having to see your kids, you know, stay focused and doing what they need to do, that's always like a like and it's like especially coming from you, like I know what's going on, but like this is like you got to stay focused, like you know it's okay to have fun, but don't get like say too caught up to where like the distractions and the disturbance all of a sudden take over what you have say worked hard for. Hopefully that makes sense.
It does. For sure.
And this leads to my question. So, outside of your sport, what do you want to be remembered for your legacy?
A people person. Um, I talk a lot. I talk a lot. So I would hate to be somebody that talk a lot and don't say nothing. So the fact that people come to me with their babies, pretty much like people come to me to ask me questions about their babies. They may be 16, but they're their babies. So I hold that in high regard. I have such respect for the people that even come to me and ask me questions and even care about what I'm talking about. But I would rather just be somebody that like I'm a people person, a good guy. You know what I mean? Just like I tell my kids, my sons in particular, like sports and stuff is one thing, but I'm raised y'all to be good men, and that's what I'm still striving every day to be. Is to be a good man, and that's something that I would want anybody that come across me to be able to say like he's a good guy. He's a good guy. He's a straight shooter. I don't I try my best to stay out of any BS. I try my best to give my opinion straight when asked, and I try my best to be fair. To be fair, I see things my way, and I say things my way. So I know I sometimes can rub some people the wrong way, but I don't have any enemies out here. So 9 times out of 10, I've sat down with that person or put them aside, and we had a quick convo, and they got a good understanding of who I am. And that's not hard for me to do. It's not hard at all because I'm not faking or acting. So I'd rather you understand what I meant than for you to think I meant something I didn't mean and then just roll with that. That's not what I'm doing. So the way that I move and the way that I try to communicate and the way that I raise my boys is just to be good men. Just be a good man, make good decisions, be respectful, be loyal, just be a good man for sure.
Absolutely. And this leads to my question because I always ask my guests this question because bona fide means authentic and unique. But for the men, it's the authenticity.
Huh?
So, blessed if I say it right, blooper if I said it wrong. But, any losers. But, so what makes Coach Collins authentic and what makes your story stands out?
Honestly, um, I know a lot of people say this, but I come from nothing, like absolutely nothing, and then I had to navigate with nothing, no tools, no resources, no options. So even the kid that feels like they may be the worst, I can reach that kid, and the kid that may feel like he the best, I can reach that kid because of the work that we put in. So I would say that I would say that, yeah, for sure.
Like the relatability to be able to relate to a person just
And not
because
just
I'm
parents as well. The parents as well. I'm very good with that, to pick up on the energy of a parent. Especially during times where stuff not going the way parents want them to go. It's talking on sports in specific, but I'm the guy that I can go diffuse a situation. I can see it bubbling. You know what I mean? And I'm very good with my words, so I can find the words to explain to you what needs to be explained. And a lot of times, frustration comes from not understanding. So even if you feel like you're seeing something and you don't like how it's going, if you explain to me what you're seeing, I can explain to you what we're doing and what we're trying to get to be seen. And then from there is usually an easier conversation, and then the kids are on board and the parents are on board. So like that's really been my the last 2 years or so, 2 or 3 years or so. I've been an assistant coach at QEA, and they just send me in the war when it's time to go calm everything down. Hmm.
I know that's it's like energy never lies and energy is contagious.
Yeah.
So, Coach, can you let the folks know how they can find you, follow you, and any upcoming events happening your way?
Yeah. Social media. Coach Keezie Cole on Instagram. That's pretty much where you see all the basketball stuff. As far as what we got coming up next, um, I have been a part of Get Me Recruited for the last year and a half or so, and we have a lot of events coming. We just got done doing the Get Me Recruited team for the U.S. games, which was a big success. We had 8 teams in there, brought home one championship, went to 6 Final Fours and a few Elite Eights. So we did a good job with that as far as getting kids from our local area opportunities. That's really a lot of what we're doing right now, what I'm about right now. Like I said, with D-Walk Elite, we have things coming up from 2035 on up. So we're down with we're reaching down to the 9, 10 year olds, and we're working with them all the way up. And like I said, I got a 5 year old, so I got a 6 year old group, 7 little 6 year olds. That's we just getting to it. You know what I mean? So we're always in the gym. We're always moving on to what's next. Right now, my boys are all playing football, so I'm just on the sideline with the pom poms right now. But I'm always on the phone on the sideline about basketball. So, it's nonstop. It's nonstop. We have, like I said, trainings and camps coming up. I post a lot of my stuff on social media. I get tagged in a lot more than I post because we're just so involved with other people and partnerships and stuff of that nature. So, but yeah, you'll definitely see some things we're doing. We upload practices and trainings, and um, I'm working on an event right now with Ashley. We can get this thing together so we can work on this outdoor event. So we got a
We
lot of
gonna have
stuff.
to. We definitely got to talk more about that after
Yeah,
this.
got a lot of stuff that we're just trying to get done. Well, let me not say trying. We have a lot that we're getting done. We're getting it done. A lot of successful things going on. We have a lot of people that's tapping in that didn't before or that did before, and they're coming back around. So it's just a lot. We have a lot of connections and outlets and resources that are just actually just piling up. So we're just trying to put them all in position to where we can attack them and help as many kids and families as possible.
Y'all be sure to follow the man, the myth, the legend himself, Coach Keezie Cole Collins, own Coach Keezie Code, and it's with a K. So the code is with a K. So Coach Keezie and then Code with a K. So be sure to follow him and be sure to check out his son Ace at Andrews this year and all 4 years because y'all Ace is gonna be four state championships, four state,
Claim
four
it.
time. Let
Claim
him
it.
know. I'm God speaking to existence, like
Oh,
manifest that. So, but be sure to check out Ace and then also Coach Keezy Cole, y'all, and be sure to check out the live replay of Bonafide podcast, episode 263, featuring the one and only Coach Mark Keezy Cole Collins. Thank you guys for tuning in. Peace.